Here you go.
So what's, okay, that's upright, all right.
Okay. Alright, now here we're joining the main. So this floor drain's only roughly 4 to 5, well, no, not quite. It's just a turn. So the material right here, this is the cast iron.
It's under the house?
Yes, sir.
Cast iron.
So one of the reasons you're backing up in this line, you see this little groove of water that's just holding in the bottom of the pipe?
Oh, wait a minute, let's see. Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. So what happens is that cast iron's sitting on positive grade, and the longer that water sits on there, it starts deteriorating away at the bottom of the cast iron. So essentially it's rotting away at it. And when water's just sitting there and you're introducing more water from this washing machine, it's going to want to create a backup because there's no pipe for that water to drain properly. So.
Yeah, it's out in
The main line. This is where Jose serviced from. This is the pipe that we're in.
There's a root or something. Just back it up a little bit. And we'll see.
Yeah, just a little guy.
Right
Those
there.
white things.
Yeah. Hmm.
And he said he pulled some roots out.
Yep. That's what he was saying too.
Are you seeing it also on your little screen there?
Yep.
Okay.
So now right here, we're leaving the cast iron. The cast iron is what goes under your foundation. And the pipe that we're going into right here, it's called clay, the stuff that's in the yard and in the street. So right here at the transition point from the cast iron to the clay, you do see that we have a root intrusion at this. You kind of see that white ring at the bottom of the pipe right here.
Yeah, this stuff, yeah.
Yep. So that's called the joint. So it's very common you'll see the roots penetrating at the joints of the pipe because that's the most fragile area. We got a big root intrusion right here.
Oh, wow.
And see, after Jose serviced it, he made you guys a little
Oh,
hole.
made a hole in it, okay.
Another big root.
Do those come from quite a distance? Or
They do.
I don't think we have anything right over the pipe much. But.
So what happens is once these roots find their source, pretty much what it comes down to is you're on borrowed time until the roots crush the system. Another third joint, really full as well. Another one. What's that?
I'm surprised, we have just these small fitzer bushes outside the door that are directly over the pipe, nothing else. So those tree roots are coming.
And what's all that white stuff there? Is that still just more roots?
Yeah, these are tree roots right here. That's a big joint of them. I don't know if I will. Oh yeah, I can push through those.
There's nothing like showing the customer on the camera.
So this right here, you see that big area where there's no pipe and it's just a puddle of water in the middle?
Yeah.
So that's what we call a separation. That's where your pipes have fully pulled apart from one another.
Yeah.
So that's going to cause an issue because that water that's sitting in between there, that water is sitting on the soil. It's going to saturate that soil, and that soil will drop.
Yeah.
So if the soil drops, there's nothing supporting the pipe, and that could lead to a collapsed piece of pipe right there.
And how, do you know in distance, how close to the street are you getting now?
We should be getting close, but if you look at the bottom left of the monitor,
Oh,
we're
there's
roughly
water running in?
56 feet out. That's how
Oh,
far
I see. Oh, okay, yeah.
So we have another little separation with some more root.
And is that water just running in there?
It's I'm kind of stirring it up from joint to joint, but
Oh,
yes,
I
it is
see.
just sitting there.
More roots.
We have a lot of roots right here.
I've got a.
Okay.
You've seen a lot of these?
Yes, sir, I see them. And we're kind of getting stuck right here at 61 feet with all the roots in there.
Hmm.
See if I can somehow sneak around them.
So when the like when Jose ran the thing, whatever you call it, it's just a small cutter. Then it
It's
doesn't.
just a
It's
tiny
not.
little blade to poke a hole in there.
Hmm.
So his machine's just designed to get you guys running, just to get that water to drop.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some options that I significantly recommend to actually clean this pipe, to extract those roots. That way you can actually drain and not be starting to back up, because it's kind of right here at 62 feet. It's what it looks like the line's trying to back up again with how much root is here. There we go.
Did it just dive down towards the sewer in the street?
No. And we got some more root right here at 64. Separation in the pipes right there. That's not too good. And there's your city connection right there at 73 feet. So
That's clean out in the street where it goes into the sewer.
that's the city connection.
City connection.
Yeah.
But is that inside the street, or is it actually out under the street?
It's actually under the street and under the asphalt.
Yeah. Okay.
So what are your questions from what I've just shown you? So
Well,
far?
is it at one time there was a tree growing kind of right in the middle of the yard, but close to that, where that line would be.
Yeah.
And of course, there's a tree on the other side of the sidewalk, as well.
And fits the bushes right outside the door.
Yeah, and I know you're not the arborist, but do those tree roots live forever?
They do, because you see they're still growing, because they feed off of your water source and the nutrients you release.
Even though there's no tree above them.
So even though there's no tree above them, the roots are still living underground. And so they're doing damage by still penetrating the clay sewer. So that's ultimately what's hurting you guys right here, is those roots. The only way you fully get rid of roots completely is by repairing the system.
So they're
denying them the water.
What's that?
Denying the roots the water that they go to.
So that there is no water,
Yeah.
free water or whatever out there. But you said you can run something different down it to clean it?
So that's what's called hydrojetting. Hydrojetting is where we bring in a truck with it's a very large hose with a big blade, and it's designed to the water is spinning, and it's spinning the blade around like very fast, and it cuts those roots out completely out of each joint of the pipe. That's actually cleaning the pipe. With the hydrojetting, we give you a 1-year warranty on there. So.
And so it cuts it, but pulls it out as well, or do you?
Pushes them out to the city line.
And where do you do that from this?
Yep.
This little whatever
We can
connection
do it from
back there.
Yeah.
And gosh, I don't know what to say. I mean, we need to maybe.
What's the other option?
Yeah. What?
Other option is, so jetting is typically where you would start. Another option, what you can do, which is something that's very recommended, you start outside by making a small repair, installing some clean outs, because those are 4-inch risers. Now with those being 4 inches, Jose can come out and he has a 4-inch blade to go through those risers to actually cut more of the root out to allow you guys to drain better. So that's an option you can do as well. So.
And if you cut those roots loose,
Yeah.
If you're using a hydrojet, you force it all out
Correct.
into the city sewer, then
Yes,
out
sir.
into their line.
Yep.
If so, do you typically or whatever just install the clean out and not do the hydrojetting?
If we're doing cleanouts, I would still do a jetting for you, just so we can clean those out. That way, the next time Jose comes back around, it'll be like a clean slate in a way, so Jose can just start trimming the roots fresh. So.
And they told me it's been 4 years since Jose or someone like him, has been out and done this,
Correct.
done the clean out.
Yes.
Is that a kind of I know every situation would be different, but is that a kind of typical every 3 or 4 years, or how?
With these, older homes, it's common, but ideally, a healthy sewer system should not require any maintenance or any cleanings, so to speak. And that's why if you were to do a spot repair and a jetting, the spot repair, that's going to last you a very long time. The jetting is going to last you roughly 2 to 3 years. After that, that's when you're going to have to start setting up annual visits to Jose to service
Keep it clean.
Or your ultimate resort is going to be just fixing the entire system outside.
Yeah.
That way you never have to worry about it in the future. So.
Not for 50 years anyway.
Right.
Or something. And you would think if you do the hydrojetting, I know that doesn't repair everything, but you've really cleaned it out then, right?
Correct. And most the cast iron in here, it looks to be in pretty good condition given the age of the home. Your guys' main problem is those roots
in the yard.
So I think extracting those roots and keeping and maintaining the system with some cleanouts, I think you guys should be just fine.
Okay, so what's the process of a clean out? You just go right outside the house there and...
Yep. So to start, we locate the system. After we locate where your sewer's running, that's when we bring in an excavator, one of our crews. And before we start digging, though, we have the city come out. They locate all the water and the gas meters. And we also have Excel come out, cable, optics, because we don't want to hit any of those things under the ground. So
even if, is that really, I guess the word would be necessary?
It is, because we're fully licensed, so we have to pull permits.
You have to do it.
We do.
And they require you to have them come out and do
They do.
These
Yes.
inspections?
The city does. Anytime we're digging in the yard, the city requires a permit and an inspection.
Regardless of where it is.
Correct.
Because I can guarantee you there's no gas or electricity going from the house out to the street.
I could almost guarantee it too, but it's just one of
And
those,
I could show you the gas meter and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay.
just one of the safety things. After the city comes in and does their part, we start digging, and then once we get everything exposed, we remove the clay and we install the new line. It's made out of PVC. It's a very strong plastic.
Yeah.
And then after the city comes back out, they inspect our work. We cover everything back up. And then once everything's covered, we can do the jetting from out there. And we'll have our jetting crew come out and clean the line out for you.
So how can they do the jetting from the street without blowing all that stuff back into the system inside?
So when they're going through the clean out that goes towards the street, they just push everything forward. When they're going back in towards the house, they cut it first, and then they shut off the water, and they go in front of the root and they turn on more water. That way, when the water's turned on, it just flushes everything back their way. So it's a very cool process.
So how big an area do they have to dig up to do this?
I can show you. We'll pull back to that first section of the cast iron switching to the clay. And that's where I'd recommend to install the cleanouts. Take a look at those. at 62 feet right here. That's really going to back you up.
Will you be able to get the plastic insert inside the pipe? Is it smaller
No,
than
that's not what they're.
So we fully remove a section of the clay pipe, and then we just attach the plastic to the other portion of the clay.
They're not. It's not like they're lining the entire system.
Just part
That's
of it?
not what you're doing, right?
No, but we do have
That's
a
a
service
different
like that.
system or a different way to.
It's hard to believe all those roots are down there.
It is. It
Still
absolutely
alive
is.
and getting
There's
hold of it.
definitely a lot down there.
I suppose we're sending fertilizer and water to them all the time.
Yeah. Well, the water is coming out of the sewer line, so I mean, yeah.
So right here at 31 feet, that's where your transition is. And you see those little waves going across the screen?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to join me outside, we'll locate. I have another device on my truck. We'll locate with the camera through the ground, and that'll tell us where we need to
Where
dig.
it is.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Alrighty.
Go out.
I'll after you.
Hey. You might want to get your coat. You're going to be freezing out here. You too, for that matter.
Yeah.
I got an idea. We're gonna be right in line with this bush.
That's okay. Those bushes have a short lifetime left anyway.
So here we are, and that's where my camera head is. That's where it's switching the cast iron
okay.
pipe to the clay. The sewer right here is 6 feet deep. So what we would do, we'd bring the excavator up here. We'd start here, go 6 foot in depth, and we'd go 10 foot in length going out this way. And then once we install the cleanouts, that's where we do the jetting.
And so, once you have installed a cleanout, is it right here?
Yep, so we installed 2 of them because they're required by code. So we'll have one here and one here. This one right here goes towards the street. This one right here goes back in towards the home. And they're covered by these little green caps, so they sit flush with the grass. That way you don't notice them.
And how big around? How?
4-inch diameter.
So, not a lot big.
Yeah, they're not too big.
Okay. Well, let's go back inside where it's warm.
Yes, ma'am.
And so what's the next step here in your process of what we're doing?
The next step for me would just be cleaning everything up. As far as like getting ready to install cleanouts or jetting, we would just get in touch with our crew and
Sure.
get everything scheduled.
But we need to know some price information and that kind of stuff.
Of course,
So,
I can clean everything up and then.
yeah,
if you
then
want,
come
I
back
can-
upstairs and
Absolutely.
you can talk to us.
Of course.
So, do you want this upstairs?
No, I'll take it because I got a.
Okay.